One of the things that we hear nowadays is that women complain that men aren't approaching them, men aren't coming up to them, men are kind of aloof or they're shy. And there's a reason for that. And that reason is that a lot of men have accepted that they do not want to be canceled. They don't want their careers destroyed for any thoughts of impropriety towards any women that they work with or deal with. But today, those fears are warranted. What up, gents? Welcome to TSG Uncut. I am your host, Sean C. Today, we're going to review an article about a Google executive who was fired because of unwanted advances by a girl boss, by a female in the company. This man that we're going to be reviewing this article about, he tried to tell people that something was going on. But Google ignored all of his pleas, and in the end, it was he, not her, that got the axe and had his career cut short. Without further ado, let's get started. All right, so the title of the article is Google executive fired after female boss groped him, and this is from news.com.au. This was also sent to me by Learn Crypto TV, so go check that brother out. He's putting out good information. Thank you, Los, for the article idea. It says Google executive claims he was booted by the tech giant for rejecting a high-ranking female boss's grabby advances at a posh company dinner. Now, the guy name is Ryan Olahan, 48, accuses Google and one of its top executives, Tiffany Miller, of firing him after Miller groped him at a Chelsea restaurant in 2019 and told him she knew he liked Asian women, which Miller is, and I'm going to show you her picture right here. According to a Blockbuster federal lawsuit filed in November 30th in Manhattan, Miller, director of Google's programmatic media, rubbed Olahan's abs, complimented his physique, and told him her marriage lacked spice. This woman was married and came on to this guy because her marriage lacked spice. So she thought that she could come on to him and get a little side nook. The alleged hands-on encounter unfolded during a drunken company gathering after Olahan was promoted to managing director of food, beverages, and restaurants and joined a new management team that included Miller in Google's Manhattan offices. While Olahan, a married father of seven, said he initially felt uncomfortable bringing up the incident because many of his colleagues were drunk. His coworkers later chalked up the behavior to Tiffany being Tiffany, court papers say. When I read this, to me, this reads out like how complaints used to be about men. Not saying there still are men out there who do certain things and who should be reprimanded, but I'm saying that one of the biggest concerns back in the day was because men wielded so much power, they would force themselves onto these females back in the day. And listen, I'm all for equality in the sake of if that stuff was happening, it needed to stop. But here we're starting to see more and more instances when the power dynamic is shifted. These women in powerful positions are pushing themselves up on dudes in these spaces like they're men. Tiffany just being Tiffany. So this woman also had a history of doing these kind of things, being wild. But we're talking about being professionals here. And that's one thing I can say about my time in the military. The few times I worked with women, I made it abundantly clear that I was trying to be professional because I did not want any type of perceived notion that I was showing any kind of indifference or harassment toward any females. And the reason is I had a career. I wasn't trying to ruin my career over a night of fun that you can find somewhere else. You're working closely, rubbing shoulders with people that you may be attracted to. There's an old saying, you don't crap where you eat at, okay? So Olahan said he reported the issues to Google's HR department the following week, but nothing ever came of a complaint. Again, this is something that used to happen back in the day where women would try to lodge complaints and stuff like that, and it would get swept under the rug because, a lot of the stuff was controlled by men, so they were trying to protect their own. Now, you have companies that have this groupthink type of situation. You have this company that knows that the social media that it creates can also be weaponized against it in these type of scenarios. And here we have this exactly happening. So they're trying to, somebody swept it under the rug, so it's not a big deal, right? The HR rep openly admitted, listen to this, that if the complaint was in reverse, a female accusing a white male of harassment, the complaint would have certainly be escalated, according to the lawsuit. We have an example of one of the many ways that we are seeing the power dynamic between men and women uneven and unequal. Never in the human history have women wielded so much power and influence like they do right now. Because on one hand, men are told that, hey, if you're going to be creepy toward women, or you're going to, try to grab you, or you're going to try to use your power to influence a woman, to bed you, even though, you work with her, then you're going to get taken down. You're going to get your life ruined. Matter of fact, men get their lives ruined strictly off of just allegations alone. But this guy did all the proper avenues, and they're saying, had this been him, a white male, hitting on her or any type of woman, that this would have got pushed quickly. See, these companies are ready to capitulate to women and other type of groups, but the groups that are the most affected and marginalized, or when we're talking about equality, it's not the same. It's not the same ball game. And this is the reason why I bring this article up, for this exact reason, because this is something that all men should be concerned about. This is something that all men should have some type of fear about. That's not saying don't do your job, but the biggest thing is to make sure that if you have a situation like this, that you document it, that you tell as many people as possible, that you don't let it fester or wait. Don't allow that person to have leverage over you, because as soon as they do, they're not going to get rid of that person. They're going to get rid of you. They're going to get rid of you, because this agenda is about keeping women happy and subduing men. And I'm still trying to figure out what is going on right now. Now it seems to me that we are living in a time of a larger conspiracy to keep men suppressed. Olahan claims Miller began retaliating against him after he made the complaint by criticizing him and reporting him to HR for microaggressions, although the complaint does not specify what Miller accused him of. So here it is, this guy who's a family guy, seems to be a stand-up man from what I can see. She goes and she wants to put a little something in the record so she doesn't look as bad, even though everybody knows this is Tiffany being Tiffany. When women in today's society want to get at men, what they do is they can complain. They can make up allegations, and all women are to be believed. But if you as a man make a complaint or lodge a complaint against a woman, especially if it's going to embarrass the company, then here it is. You somehow have to be at fault because you're a man. You had to been coming on to this woman. The retaliation allegedly continued at a Google-hosted event in December 2021, so this was real recently, in which Miller drunkenly admonished Olahan in front of his colleagues. So here it is. This woman has a pattern of behavior that is openly seen in front of everybody. The rancor was so bad that the colleagues encouraged Miller to move to the other end of the table, according to the lawsuit. But we're starting to see more and more of these women in these high positions. They're unhappy, they're miserable, and what do? They're operating like men used to. And men are starting to get the point. They're not trying to get their careers ruined over these women. Some are, like lower level people, like the cop, the police officers. Miller later apologized, and although Google was aware that Miller's continued harassment of Olahan stemmed from his rejection of her sexual advances, it took no action, the suit claims, right? So they knew how she was acting, and they did nothing to admonish this woman. Miller drunkenly berated Olahan yet again during a company get-together at a karaoke bar in April 2022, where she mocked him upon arrival and retaliated that she knew he preferred Asian women, she reiterated that she knew he preferred Asian women over white women, knowing that Olahan's wife is Asian, according to court papers. So this woman is ridiculous, you guys. This woman can't be deterred. She's like, I know you have preference over us, over white women. Could that be racist? I think it is. Or no, she was just exercising preference. And it's funny though, how Asian women will throw themselves off of a cliff for white men. Everybody does. Certain guys, certain white guys that look a certain way get all kind of stuff thrown at them. But regardless what Chad and Tyrone looks like, And whatever, long as they're doing what they're supposed to do, they do not deserve to be harassed either. All right, so Olahan said he began feeling increased pressure from his superior, who told him that there were obviously too many white guys on his management team. In July, he was encouraged to fire a male employee to make room on his team for a woman. Are you serious? Listen, I'm not down with this. It's like you're gonna fire a man just to make your team look more diverse. Everybody was working. Did the person mess up? What's the issue, right? Why couldn't they have just created another spot? I just don't get this. Google got God money over there, and they just couldn't hire a female to work there too, to be on the team, add another person. It says the following month, Google fired Olahan, ending his employment after 16 years at the company. They ended his career off of making up an excuse to fire him, but not taking care of the other woman, not reprimanding the other woman. And I'm not saying these two things are the same punishment, but you think he deserved to get fired after 16 years for what he did and nothing happened to the woman? That makes no sense. Companies are slick. They do not want to pay you retirement. I am not going to promote somebody, especially in a company that expects high production, that has a household name. I can work with everybody, but I also need for the people around me to be ready to go. You're talking about you want the best and the brightest. That's how you make a business better. That's how you make a company better. This is the expectation I had on me for 20 years while being in the military. If you want to advance, you better be the stanky, okay? You better be ready to go, and you better be ready to perform at your optimal, because it is expected of you. And that is what good leaders do. Good leaders can bring out the best in people, but they also rely on their high performers, because those are the people that are really going to drive these things and kick it up to the next level. This lawsuit is on and continuing, and once I know more, if you guys are interested, if I see that you're interested in this, I will update you on whatever I find. But I thought it real interesting because there's, double standards when it comes to men and women today. This family man with his wife, he is coming up against a woman who has obvious alcohol behavioral issues, where it is known by the people that are there, which makes me think he has a strong case on his lawsuit. Again, if this would have been the reverse, you and me would be up out of there.